Hi people. Welcome to Reflections. I'm Joanna. Today I will talk to you about happiness, that state in which a person feels satisfied for enjoying what he or she desires, or enjoying something good for him or her. But it can also mean something deeper: one more weekend for a child of divorce, one more day of life for a terminally ill patient, or even saving one more life for a doctor, a police officer, or a firefighter. The fact is that happiness can be measured. Did you know that? Yes. It is made up of a 40% genetic component, 50% self-control, and 10% external scenarios. This means that, in theory, each person is capable of obtaining the degree of happiness he or she desires. Seen from a more complex angle, there are three actions that must be taken to obtain happiness, and thus generate a situation of well-being. This approach comes from positive psychology. The first action corresponds to connecting with the positive emotions of the past, present, and future, that is, to clean all those situations that are remembered with anger, fear, helplessness, or hopelessness, so that those that produce pleasure, motivation, and hope will remain. The second action has to do with commitment. Setting objectives and goals in life is important, but more important is to achieve them. These achievements will be transformed into self-esteem and confidence. The trick here is that the scope of these objectives and goals can be set by you, that is, plan them simple or short in the first instance. But you must be aware of making your best effort to achieve them in a given time. And the third action corresponds to perform tasks that produce some meaning. In this sense, each action must be aligned to the values acquired throughout life, so that they can produce the welfare effect of having done some activity that is considered as good, because it adds value to someone else. This topic is important, and can be developed in another video. To summarize, these three actions are what allow you to be what you are. But what would happen if we give more attention to one more than the others? For example, if we give more weight to achieve or obtain things, without taking into account and releasing the burden, or overlook the values that once were part of your being. Well, many things can happen. In principle, as the body is energy, it starts to become decompensated, or unbalanced, because we give the brain the order to be aware only of achieving things. The body then adapts to the new situation, but all this does not happen at the moment. They are situations of medium or long term, that the body is assuming with each challenge, with each instruction, and of course, with each result obtained. Because that is also accounted for, the positive or the adverse, as explained in the previous paragraphs. Having said that, I invite you to go up a level. Let's talk about happiness as a couple, and let's be clear, it is a sharing of happiness. Happiness does not change status, nor does it change body when a person starts a relationship with another person. It is a limiting belief to think that a partner gives happiness. In a couple relationship, one party can please the other with something, can give in, even give away, and that generates emotion, empathy, but not happiness. That is why the ability to be happy individually helps when differences or conflicts arise between couples, because it allows each person to have the ability to see the situation in a less biased way, in the sense that it does not add fuel to the fire. It is different when a person is part of the community, does not experience happiness, being his responsibility to generate it. In many cases, these situations of conflict become a trigger for something worse, because it escapes the management of that person. And in this case, itching is combined with the desire to scratch. We assume that happiness, in principle, requires one's own effort and not that of others. As expressed in the previous paragraphs, in reference to the three actions. That is why they say that happiness is internal, that is to say, the one who is happy or not, shares it wherever he goes, while the one who expects to be happy, only justifies himself or herself. There are plenty of examples. The truth is that they are just excuses to work for their own happiness. There are other scenarios where we can express happiness, such as family, work, even through social networks, but it requires a little more time, and can be touched in the next opportunity. So in the meantime, I invite you from now on, to become aware and get to work on these three simple activities. Discharge negative emotions, from the present, the past, or into the future. Engage in purposeful, yet meaningful activities. With the I have or I did, you can eventually satisfy the ego, while the I am represents what you do, what you think, and what you feel. Your happiness. And you are the only one responsible. So far the theme of happiness. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys liked it. Thank you very much. Soon a new topic of reflections, skills of sellers. This video is courtesy of 500 Notes for Ventures, a book that will take you through your emotional side, enriching it to a new level. What does this mean? The opportunity to have better relationships with your environment, which will surely turn into higher sales. The good news is that it is already available on Amazon Kindle in the digital version. Remember to hit the bell to be notified of the next video. Until next time, have a nice day.